Hey, we're just about finished with this bobber and it's looking really sharp here. So all that's left is we're going to mount the seat, and then I'm going to wrap the exhaust for you, and that's it. So anyway, grab this seat pan. Now this one is unpainted. Yours will be black. And then grab the springs. There should be 2 springs, and then the front seat mount. I'm going to zoom in on that and show you. Here's your front seat mount. Grab the 2 springs, and then go ahead and remove these bolts out of here, and we'll show you how to mount this rascal. Okay, grab the spring and an Allen wrench, and I'll show you how we put the screw through the spring. What you do is you run the Allen wrench up through the bottom, or the top. Actually, that's the top of the spring. And what I do is I lay the Allen screw on the wrench like that, and I just shove it down through that hole. You may have to angle it a little bit. Then let's go ahead and, while it's there, right there, we'll feed that washer inside there, and we'll run that down in there, and then we'll go ahead and mount that onto the pan there. So you can go ahead and leave these a little bit loose for now. Run the nylock nut on there, and we'll leave them a little loose. Okay, next let's go ahead and mount this block on the top of the pan like this, and put that little tab on the bottom sticking out just like that. Leave that a little bit loose, and we'll go ahead and mount this to the motorcycle. Let's go ahead and set the seat pan on the motorcycle so it looks like that. Now what we want to do is we want to have this little tab up front here. Adjust that little tab so that it fits under that gas tank support there, and when you end up bolting it to the bike, it doesn't go up and down. It's kind of just sucks up there nice and tight. So go ahead and adjust that, and then get that preset and snug these up really nicely, and then we'll show you how to put the springs on. Okay, this is the left side of the motorcycle. If you'll notice here, the slots line up with the screws there, the screw holes. And then I've got this adjusted in the front here so that as these are lined up in the back, that doesn't, there's no play there. It's nice and tight. That's how you want it to be. And then go ahead and tighten your springs up. Now, it's really important that we angle the little loop on the spring. See these little loops here, this funny little loop? Make it to the left side like this on both springs. That's really important, because if you don't, then you won't be able to access this screw right here. So angle the little loop to the left on both sides. Snug those springs up nice and snug. Here it is on that side, the little loops on this side also. And then we're about ready to mount the seat. Now that we have the seat pan mounted in place, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and put the battery hold down rubber on the underside. It basically goes right there where it curves. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel the adhesive off the back, and we're going to stick it on the bottom. You obviously will have to take the pan off, and go ahead and stick it on about right there. That way it'll hold this battery down. Okay, before you put the seat pan on for good, make sure the wires are tucked in here and they're not going to be rubbing this pan on both sides. And then let's go ahead and set the pan in place. Now go ahead and put these screws in the back here. Right here and over on the other side. And then what I want you to do is I want you to snug these up just a little bit. And then don't forget, we left these side screws just a little bit loose before. So go ahead and really give those a good torque. Tighten those up like crazy, because you don't want these seat brackets sliding. So go ahead and do that, and then re-torque these a little bit too if you want. The really neat thing about this whole seat pan is if you want to get to your battery or whatever, all you're going to have to do later on is just remove these 2 screws, this one and the one on the other side, and then you can lift the whole seat off to get to your battery. So let's go ahead and mount the seat. Okay, I've mounted the seat on the springs and the seat pan. Now what I do in this is first, before I tighten everything up and mount everything, I adjust this fork up front here. The fork is under the seat. Adjust that so that it matches the hole once it's kind of mounted on the springs back here. And now one thing, if for some reason the back of the seat hits the fender right here on big bumps, then you can actually slide the seat forward a little bit and angle these springs just a little bit more forward. That'll put the seat more forward, and it should help that bottoming problem there. Also, you could also set the shock preload up a little bit, but we kind of designed these so they should clear just fine. So anyway, okay, the way you mount this after you adjust that fork is the springs mount on the outside of the bracket, and then the washer and the screw header here, and then the nut is on the inside, the nylock nut. That's the way we mounted it. Now you can always do it the other way around. It's not set in stone on that, so that's the way I did it. So go ahead and mount the 2 rear. You can snug these up nice and tight. Now on the front, it's really important that we don't over tighten this. You want to leave that loose. What I do is I run it in all the way and then I back it out a little bit. And then I put a little oil in there so that it moves. Make sure that moves. And you put a little oil in there because the seat will rotate right here. And if that's tight, it'll wear that out, maybe even break this bracket off. So make sure you leave that just a little loose and oil it. And there you have it. That seat looks really sharp on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just torque these down one more time. Just torque these two screws down one more time for me. Make sure these are snug. And again, to remove the seat, just take these two screws out. And then you can slide the whole seat and pan off. You may have to loosen these side screws just a little bit to allow clearance here, but do that. And then I'm going to adjust my handlebars now that I can sit on the bike. And then I'm going to double check everything, and we're getting really close to being finished. Next I'm going to wrap the exhaust.